Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay. He's Maddie. This is Yankee and the Brits Sunday pregame show. What's going on over in Thailand, Maddie?
Yeah, well, we're getting ready to fly to Vietnam tomorrow. So just a chill night in a hotel in Bangkok, which is easier said than done in Bangkok, obviously, home of the uh, Hangover 2 film, where most people want to go out all the time. But just for me, I've been out in Bangkok. It's just too much for me. It's too much going on. Really sensory overload on Khao San Road.
Well, I'm too damn old to enjoy Bangkok like that, like you youngsters.
Yeah, I mean, there's also most importantly a game happening in Germany right now, which is obviously more important than any night out that we could
So
that I could be going on.
I got to tell you quick. So in this NFL group that I'm a part of, and the dude was just trolling, right? But it shows the level of football fans' intelligence sometimes. So the guy goes, what the hell are the Chiefs playing in Mexico tomorrow? I'm done watching football. It's an American sport. And you know it was just a troll post. You know what I mean? And people were like,
Yeah,
learn geography, dumbass. Like, it's in fucking Germany, dumbass. It's like you guys completely missed where that was going with that.
yeah,
But okay.
yeah. My big complaint about this is how come Germany gets all the good game. I mean, this isn't a good game; it's a blowout at the moment, and
Could
the
have been, though.
should have been. And the Chiefs, the Miami, basically looking at this game and watching it, Miami don't get enough yards on first and second down and then can't convert on third. But also, people are blaming Miami, but the Chiefs' defense is for real, and it's people need to realize this. People are thinking this is the old Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to win on defense and run game this year.
I don't remember what they were ranked, but I just seen a ranking like a week ago, and they were way fucking higher than I thought they'd be on defense.
The Chiefs are the second scoring defense in the league. Like they're a really they're a top 5 defense in this league. Their secondary is probably one of the best in the league, and people aren't giving them enough credit. But yeah, they've played a really good game so far. I mean, there's 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and the way that Miami has the potential to score, would you be surprised? Also, the amount of drops by Miami, I can think of 4 off the top of my head during this game so far, including one deep down the field to Tyreek Hill. I think they've missed on 2 third down conversions thanks to drops as well.
So we didn't pick this game because neither of us thought about it being so early. But of course, we both would have picked the Chiefs by 21. Of course, we would have. So
touchdown Miami. Cedric Wilson, former Cowboy. Cedric Wilson Jr.
You got to be
Cowboy.
like 2 plays ahead of me because they're lining up 1st and 10 on the 36 right now for me.
Well,
no, I'm cool with it. I don't mind you telling me. I'm just saying.
That's interesting. That never happens.
Oh, you're more than that because now it's second and
normally way behind you.
Now it's 2nd and 5 for me. So yeah.
Hey, this Bangkok Wi-Fi just hits different.
I am using a website, not NFL Plus, so that could be
got you
part of. Yeah,
and the kick is good. So 7-21, Cedric Wilson scoring. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I think I would have on the bet. I think I would have taken the Dolphins +3, just because I think whoever was the dog in this game, I would have taken the dog in this game, just because I thought they were more even than this, and you get more wiggle room with the over. Not with the over. We're taking the dog.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no idea who I would have took.
Yeah, it's just
I have a hard time betting against either team. That's what it comes down to. So I have no idea who I would have taken.
I just have no idea how Germany keep on scoring these like great games. They got Tom Brady in his last year in the NFL as well, just to add to that. Whereas the UK, because the UK's had NFL now for 10 years, you could just give a shit. And then that's just the way
I was just going to say it's because Germany's newer to the NFL, and they're going to give them games to make sure that we just kicked the extra point for me. That's how far behind I am for you.
Cool. Yeah.
Wilson
It's just
Jr.
We also have the Jags as well as our designated home team who we see all year. So you're obviously until the past 2-3 years, you've got one of the worst teams in football playing there every single week. So not every single week, but every single year.
All right. Well, let's hit some fucking betting lines. And since we botched the first game, we'll start with Maddie's game that he is looking so forward to today, the Arizona Cardinals versus the Cleveland Browns. Maddie was telling me he couldn't wait to get to this game.
Oh, so excited. What I was kind of hoping for with this game was that Kyler Murray would come back. And then there would be a talking point for this game. But Kyler Murray's coming back next week because you don't run out your quarterback now because you don't want to run him out against the best one of the best defenses in the NFL. You wait until next week when he doesn't have to play against the best defense in the NFL.
So who's starting for them today since the Vikings took on Dobbs?
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes the Dobbs trade a little bit weirder as well. I can't remember. Tomb, is that his name?
Okay. It's well, Arizona is unofficially tanking anyway since the beginning of the year. So trading Dobbs away a week before, it makes sense because they don't care if they eat a loss.
Clayton Tune is being backed up by Jeff Driscoll, who is
I know.
still in
I've
the
heard
league.
of Jeff Driscoll. I know who he is. Don't know who Toombs is. So which is wild.
Tune is a rookie 5th round pick out of Houston.
I was just gonna say it's because it's wild because you and I follow the draft pretty deep, and I have no idea who the fucking kid is. So
yeah, 5th round pick 132 out of Houston. That's who Clayton
we'll get to it, but there's another 5th round pick that's going to be leading a team today too.
Yeah,
Jaron Hall.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. I weirdly have more confidence in Jaron Hall. I feel like Jaron Hall, they've actually taken him. Also, Hitman, by the way, Jay, in the comments, Hitman is teasing me right now because I'm trying to trade Prescott for it. I'm trying to trade with him in fantasy as we speak for Prescott. And so far, I've sent him a deal of. So far, I'm at the deal of Alexander Mattison for Dak Prescott. That's where we're at right now. But anyway,
I like you both, so I almost feel like I should stay the fuck out of this. But
you stay out of it. You stay out of it, man. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
The only fair deal I've ever done in our league was with Hitman. I gave him Pierce straight up for Aaron Jones.
Yeah, like an actually fair deal. That's just like, who do you fancy?
Well, you know me, I'm getting slammed right now. So any move to try to break this, me getting my ass whipped this year, I'm willing to do. Yeah, I'm with you. I could just imagine what he would put as a gift on. There's so many times I watch podcasts and wish I could put a meme or a GIF up how I just
do we not have the power to add stickers now that we have 550 subscribers?
You can add some. I've been working on it. I'm going to tell you, it's easier off my laptop, and I've been doing a lot of stuff off my phone because I've been busy. So I got to get back to my laptop to figure a lot of it out.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, guys, 550 subscribers. We're trying to get to 600. So go hit the subscribe button. That'd be really great for us right now. But yeah, for more fantasy talk and look into the insights of our fantasy and going through our betting lines, let's get back to the Browns and the Cardinals game.
Minus 13 for the Browns.
That's a huge point spread for the Browns, because where have the Browns offensively looked like getting out to that far of a point spread on anybody? However,
the
if the Cardinals
effect?
Yeah. If the Cardinals score, what's a good score for the Cardinals in this game? If they manage to score 10 points, are you happy if you're the Cardinals?
I think you're the Cardinals, to be honest. As long as you lose, you're happy.
What? Yeah. Yeah.
We're at that time of year where teams are already jockeying for the first overall pick.
I like what the Cardinals have done in terms of playing it close, playing the game hard. Yeah, poor Canadian. Playing the game hard, playing it playing everything playing everything solid whilst also losing games to make sure that they get the first overall pick. For them, what's important now going on through the rest of the season is making sure that Kyler Murray is fit when he comes back and you are able to get a decent evaluation on Kyler Murray as a quarterback and what he looks like coming off that injury.
And I almost feel like the only reason they're bringing him back is because they want to highlight him to other teams because they want to trade him if they get a high enough pick.
Yeah, if he looks decent enough for a trade value, then that's good for you. If he looks stellar and you go like, yep, we can build around Kyler, then also great as well. There is a no, and if he's shit, if he comes back terrible, you're like, you're losing games. So you get the first overall pick anyway, and he's not your quarterback. He's not this organization. He's not this back office's quarterback. So it doesn't matter.
And that tank for Caleb Williams does not look as good as everybody's been saying. Caleb got outplayed yesterday. It's just a fact. He got outplayed.
Oh my God, people are going to have to actually do some quarterback evaluation and decide whether Caleb Williams is the guy.
No, it's Bo Nix.
Let's see.
Why am I spacing? I just watched him last night. The kid from Washington was balling. I don't know why I'm spacing his name right now. But he was balling. Bo Nix is balling. Caleb Williams is talented as they come.
Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, there you go. He outplayed Caleb Williams yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a fair response. But then also we've seen Caleb Williams play that top level QB ball. He's just not playing it this year. And how much is that to do with USC?
So accurate though. He was so accurate. Everything he threw against SC was on a fucking dime. I was like, this kid might be the number one overall pick. Like, seriously.
I think we again have a draft where it's a QB draft where you pick the QB for your situation here. So if you're the Cardinals in a total rebuild and you need magic behind the offensive line, then maybe Caleb Williams is the right guy for you. In the way that Bryce Young was the right guy for the Carolina Panthers to pick then, even if they're not winning football games right now. In the same way, Michael Penix takes on the fumble. Michael Penix takes on the CJ Stroud. Turnover for the Miami Dolphins. They're back in this game. This CJ Stroud to the Houston Texans is really good for them because they have a secretly good wide receiver room. They have a secretly good defense. So you just need somebody who's accurate. You take Bo Nix, Michael Penix, those kind of guys.
Well,
so
I'm going to go wild.
Interesting draft.
I'm going to go wild out on a limb. Give me Arizona with the plus 13.
I don't think I can see the Browns scoring enough points unless they score the points on defense. So I'm also going to take Arizona here.
It's wild. Who would have ever thought, Maddie, we would both be taking Arizona?
Well, I hate those plus 13. I hate those double-digit spreads. No.
Well, let's talk about the only game I give a shit about this weekend. Minnesota traveling to Atlanta. The Falcons are 4-point favorites. Minnesota on the road, +4. They had a very weird spread on this game yesterday. It was Minnesota +4, but Atlanta -3.5. But now it evened out to -4, +4 on the game. Jaren Hall's making his first start. I know a lot of people have no idea who Jaren Hall is because they don't follow the draft and things like we do. Jaren Hall is a 5th-round pick out of BYU. I've watched a lot of Jaren Hall. I watched a lot of his shit from college, and I paid attention to him. And I watch a lot of any of this Vikings practice they record and air. I watch on the Vikings, YouTube channel. He's very accurate. He's athletic, and he handles the huddle well. Can he read defenses? It seems like in college he could. Is he going to be able to keep up with the speed of the NFL game? Is Kevin O'Connell going to give him the right type of game plan to go in there with? We're going to see. It's going to be rough having Kirk Cousins not there because nobody ever expect Kirk Cousins to miss a game. He's kind of like when Brett Favre was playing, you just always expect them to be there. They're Iron Men. But as upset as I was last week about, I thought we really had a shot to go on a run, and I thought this team was looking really well. I am excited to see if Jaren Hall is the future of the Vikings. I hate the fact that he's playing this year. I would have hoped he got a whole year at least under his belt before he had to play. But we'll see what the Vikings have in the backup quarterback. This game is really hard for me to pick because only emotionally I'm involved, and it's a rookie quarterback. So I'm really weird with this, and I'm gonna ride with the Vikings +4, but I do not feel comfortable about that pick.
You've got to feel kind of semi-happy that your quarterback goes down. You're playing a rookie quarterback 5th round pick, and you're only +4.
Again, yeah, so does that say a lot about Minnesota, or does that say more about Atlanta?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but do the Falcons have a winning record?
I think we're both 4-4, but I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, we're both 4-4.
Yeah, 4-4. So 2 teams that are 4-4. One of them also that this is worth saying. The Falcons are starting Taylor Heineke, who they should have been playing 2-3 weeks ago. They're starting Taylor Heineke as well. And they're still +4. So clearly Vegas doesn't have what's going on in Brock Purdy. What's going on Desmond Ridder. They clearly don't have any confidence on Taylor Heineke. They clearly don't have any confidence in the Falcons. The Falcons have an excellent run game, excellent weapons, and kind of a team that's made for Taylor Heineke. As we go through, because what the Falcons have needed is just to throw the ball up. So it's got to be good for the Vikings that we are that they are still only +4. I think the defense looks pretty excellent now under Brian Flores, and I do see improvement. However, I like the Falcons defense as well. I like the Falcons offense and the way they've got it put together. I'm going to take the Falcons -4 in this game.
Yeah, and Taylor Heineke scares me more than Ridder because Taylor Heineke does that Fitzmagic type shit. He comes out and has 3 or 4 amazing games and then turns back into Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke could. So I've got Taylor Heineke at quarterback for fantasy this week, and he could either score me less than 10 points or score me 30. And that's the way that Taylor Heineke plays ball. And I think with that Brian Flores defense, it could be quite interesting.
And shout out to the Canadian. Get well soon, dude. I hope you're feeling better. He was having some medical shit go on. So I hope you feel better. As bad as we fuck with the Canadian, we also hope that he is doing a lot better than he was.
Yeah. So,
all right.
It should be an interesting game to watch, actually.
So the Seahawks go into Baltimore. The Baltimore defense is fucking for real again. The offense is looking better. The Seahawks are actually a 6.5-point dog in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's the game that Sky have picked for their early window game of the game of the game of the week in the early window. So that's the game that Sky are playing. The question that I've put in our YouTube description is: can Lamar Jackson keep up his excellent form and the way he's been playing football recently? Can Lamar Jackson keep it up against the Seattle Seahawks defense, who are vastly improved when they've got all of their players healthy? When you've got Tyreek Woolen on one side, when you've got Devin Witherspoon on the other side of the ball at cornerback, how well can they throw the ball as the Baltimore Ravens offense on the Seattle Seahawks defense?
Yeah, I think Geno's going to have a long fucking game. I think it's going to be a rough game on Geno. Give me the Baltimore Ravens minus the 6.5.
So with the Baltimore Raven, with the Seattle Seahawks offense as well. So you have DK Metcalf, you have Tyler Lockett, and you have Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's a pretty stellar wide receiver room. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been used a lot more recently. I think he's gone in his past 2 games. He hit 12 fantasy points and then he hit 16 fantasy points. So growing in usage throughout the year. I think that's a sneaky good wide receiver room, and I think Baltimore coming off that massive win could be on a bit of maybe a downward slide. Also, Seattle, the 11th man. We love Seattle. That's 12th man. Sorry, I know that we always play with 11. Yeah, sorry, Seattle and the 12th man. I'm going to be taking Seattle in this one.
All right. There you go. Look at us bumping heads already. I like it.
Whoa,
all right.
Whoa. Touchdown, Miami Dolphins. Dolphins 14, Kansas City Chiefs 21. This game is on.
Okay, I just watched. It was 3rd and 20, and the Chiefs committed a penalty to give them a first down. So yeah, all right. Well, Dolphins are back in this game, just like Maddie and I called it.
The start of the show.
All right. Well, the worst team in the NFL, the Chicago Bears, are traveling to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 9 at home.
Sneaky game for big fantasy points out of players like Michael Thomas and Derek Carr and Chris Olave, who admitted he was been in a slump so far this season. This could be a get right game for them. The Chicago Bears defense in terms of pressure against the pressure whilst making the pass rush is Sweat going to come in and make a big difference in his first game? Are they going to get pressure? I personally don't see it. And their secondary is weak because if you're not getting pressure, then that puts a load of pressure on the secondary, and that's going to be difficult. 9 points is a pretty huge spread for a team that have had such issues in the red zone, but with Alvin Kamara back in, Taysom Hill is a red zone threat as well at QB. Michael Thomas, big dude in the red zone. I believe they will get over these red zone issues against the Bears. Give me the Saints -9.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm taking the Saints -9. They have better receivers, better running game, better defense, better quarterback. Like I just don't see. I mean, it's the NFL and anything can happen, but I don't see the path for the Bears to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, well, Tyson Badgett can operate an NFL offense. It's just their weapons are not good enough, especially against this Saints defense, which are also playing elite. So I struggle to see a pathway to win that game as well. I feel whenever we say that, then the team that we say that about finds a way to win that game. But yeah, I struggle to see it also.
All right. Well, let's talk some Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the Houston Texans. This one kind of fucked me up. I'm not going to lie. Houston's favored by 2.5 at home over the Buccaneers. I would have picked the Bucs to be the favorite. So right off the bat, I would personally, since I thought the Bucs would win this game and you're going to give me points, I'm going to have to take the Bucs plus the 2.5.
I do find it interesting seeing the Texans a favorite in any game. Weirdly,
I like
which is just it's an interesting thing to see. I actually really like the way that the Houston Texans play ball. I think CJ Stroud is an excellent pickup for them. I think Nico Collins is a genuine number 1 wide receiver in the same way as Terry McLaurin is as well. Their run game has started to pick up. Damon Pierce has started to get a bit of a run game going, and their offensive line, whenever it's healthy, is pretty solid also. So I really like what the Texans have. However, when you then look at the other side of the ball, you have Mike Evans, you have Chris Godwin, and you have Baker Mayfield thrown to them. So how much pressure can the Texans get? I'm still going to take the Texans in that game. I like them as the favorites in that game. I feel like the Bucs have not been scoring. ton of points. And I feel like the Texans always possess the ability with their offensive side of the ball to score a ton of points. So give me the Texans in that game.
Yeah, D'Amico Ryans has that defense flying around too. There's a lot of no names on that defense, and they're still flying around making plays, which is it's what guys like D'Amico Ryans, Brian Flores, and these guys do. They take no name guys that the most of the league don't know, but they see traits that fit their scheme perfectly. They put them in, they coach them up, and they do a great job of getting them ready. I do like what the Texans are doing. I do think, though, the Bucs still have a shot to win that division, and I think Baker Mayfield figures out a way to get it done. That's why I took the Bucs plus the points.
Okay. Whoever wins this week could really destroy either one of us in our head-to-head in terms of picks, because we're way more different than we usually are this week.
Well,
I think there's just a lot of even games.
The next game kind of, when I saw the spread, kind of fucked me up. But then I realized, the Packers are favored because Matthew Stafford's not playing. So the Packers are favored at home -3.5.
If Jordan Love loses this game against who's playing for that? I know that they tried to get Wolford from Tampa, didn't they? The Rams. They tried to trade for Wolford on deadline day, and instead the Bucs brought up Wolford into the playing squad. So Brett Rippon is now the quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. So we have Brett Rippon. If Jordan Love loses to Brett Rippon in a team where, yes, the Rams have looked decent at times, but also have the ability to totally implode like they did against the Cowboys last week, is it time to start thinking, what else have we got in the building in Green Bay?
Yeah, it is, because if you get beat by Brett Rippon, who's a Canadian, I just got to throw that out there, and he's been in the league since 2019, undrafted free agent. If you can't beat Brett Rippon, what much is your team going to be able? Who is your team going to be able to beat? And I'm out. I was kind of in at the beginning of the year. I'm out on Jordan Love. I think it's time for the Packers to realize they don't have what they thought they had, and it's time to look for a new quarterback. So I'm not sure where the Packers go from here if they lose to the Rams. What is even do you can't, and the trade deadline's over, so there's no fire sale anymore, even though they did get rid of Rasul Douglas, who was balling out for a third-round pick. So that must mean the Packers already know it's a total rebuild.
If I was the Packers, I'd be tanking by now. And I know you can't purposely tank and all of that kind of stuff, but you fucking can by making sure nothing goes right. So if I was the Packers, I'd be the one wanting to be at the top of that quarterback sweepstakes coming up in the next year. Because the only way that Green Bay remain relevant is through good quarterback play, because it's not a free agent destination. It's not like the most well-run franchise. Like, the only way that they stay relevant is history of being the Green Bay Packers and through excellent quarterback play. So if they get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, they stay relevant. And that's the way that they're going to have to go from here.
All right. So give me the Rams the upset. Give me the Rams for the upset. Give me the +3.5 Rams upset.
I do like the Rams running game. So I'm also going to take the Rams on the upset there. I was so hoping that you're going to go for the Packers.
No, I trust McVay more than I trust LaFleur, and that's what it came down to for me. I think LaFleur's over his head without Aaron Rodgers, and I think we're starting to see that LaFleur was more of the problem than Aaron Rodgers was when it came to the team.
Yeah, I think you also have, I imagine Brett Rippon can throw to open receivers. So Cooper Kupp has a nice habit of getting separation. Nakua has a nice habit of getting separation. And then their run game, even without Kyren Williams, which has been devastating for my fantasy team, him being on IR. But even without him, their run game is pretty solid. And then you've also got to remember that Dak Prescott against the Rams although he had an excellent game, was still sacked 3 times in the first drive of the game by Aaron Donald. So the Cowboys offensive line is top 10 in the NFL. The Packers is not, and Aaron Donald is going to be ripping through there. So I like what the Rams have got more than I like the Packers.
Well, I sneezed twice. I must be allergic to the Packers.
Must be. That must be hard considering you live just down the road from the stadium.
Yep, it's always allergy season.
It's allergy season all year.
Yes. Well, let's talk some
Jay,
Commanders.
Just to stop you. Sorry, just to stop you. As our fantasy league admin, I have just made a trade with Hitman Holler, which I would be very Hitman Garcia. Sorry, Hitman Holler, which I would be very happy if that could go through. I've just traded Dak Prescott. I'm receiving Dak Prescott for a trade for Brock Purdy and Alexander Mattison. That's the trade that's on the table. So if that's able to go through at some point, I'd be very, very thankful for that.
I'll push it through, but they're still not going to let you use those guys till next week.
I know. That's okay. I just like to have them on my team before anything crazy happens and it gets cancelled and stuff like that.
All right. So we got the Commanders traveling to New England. I guess it depends who else Hitman has as his quarterback. I don't know who his starting quarterback is.
It's Gardner Minshew right now.
I might have kept Dak over Gardner, but
he gets Purdy, I think is the thought process. It's a close one. I think it's a fair trade. I think we've come to a fair trade there. Okay, sorry to derail the programming.
Oh, no worries. Commanders at the Patriots. The Patriots are favored by 2.5, and I am upholding your trade right now as we speak.
I have no idea how the Patriots can be favorite in any game, especially when the Commanders have just gone so close with the Eagles, apart from the fact that the Commanders just fire-sailed their defensive line. That would be the only reason why I think the Patriots could be any form of favorite.
I would check your fantasy team. You might actually be able to use them since I just popped it through. It looks like it's going to let it go for this week.
All right. Awesome. Now I need to decide whether to play Taylor Heineke or Dak Prescott, but I'll get to make that decision at least. Anyway, sorry. So the Commanders are fire sailing their defensive line. They no longer have Sweat or Chase Young. So that would be the only reason why I think that the Patriots could potentially be favorites at all in this game. I have no other understanding as to why they would be favorites.
I'm not sure exactly why they would, besides the defense either. But oddly, I'm taking the Patriots in this game because of the fact that they gave up their pass rushers, even though it's minus 2.5.
I don't think you need much defense at all to stop the Patriots. So although I do think their moves harm the Commanders this season down the line, I think they realize that they're not going to make the playoffs, so they may as well maximize some picks and things like that, which I don't hate. I maybe would have held on to Chase Young. Getting rid of Sweat, who's out of contract this year, makes sense to me.
They didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Chase Young though, so you got to pay him too.
Yeah. I guess that's the reason. I guess that's the reason to get rid of him as well. But I don't think you need much defense to stop this Patriots team at all. And I do think Sam Howell is he's a decent QB, and he threw for I think he threw for 300 yards against the Eagles, who are meant to be one of the better defenses in the league. They're not, but they're meant to be. So he threw 300 yards against them. He kept them close, and Scary Terry's always a weapon. I'm going to take the Commanders just to outscore the Patriots in this game.
So I have to go off subject. They're showing the fans in the Germany game, and you guys overseas are fucking wild because there is almost every team's uniform in the fucking stadium. It is so wild.
It's even crazier in the UK. So in Germany, there seems to be a lot of fans of the Chiefs. They seem to love the Chiefs in Germany. They also seem to love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Germany. So when the Bucks played there was loads of fans there as well. In the UK, it's just like literally you'll sit in rows of completely different shirts as you go around. It's really interesting to see. It's quite a good gauge of like who's really popular. The Minnesota Vikings are always very well represented.
I just saw Vikings fans. I saw Giants fans. I saw a Panthers jersey along with obviously the Chiefs and the Dolphins. It was just wild to be watching a game and seeing all the other fans' jerseys. To me,
it's quite fun. It does make it a bit. That's why you need a home team in these games. In these games, that's why you need a London team or a German team, like maybe some sort of European team that swaps between London and Germany and in their games if you want to do it that way, because I think the atmosphere is lost a bit because you have all of these.
You think it's hard to get fucking free agents to Green Bay? Wait till if they ever do an overseas team. You guys have insane taxes. There's no player that's going to want to go and pay that money.
We have all sorts of tax loopholes, Jay. There are many ways to get around tax in the UK.
They don't even like to live on the fucking the Pacific Northwest, let alone all the way over to fucking England because of the travel. Like I'm just saying, I don't think you're going to find many players who are excited to go.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's why we'll just take the Jags and then we'll just have them and then they're contracted to us anyway.
Plus, expansion never makes sense to me in the NFL because there's not enough good quarterbacks to go around for the teams that we already have.
Yeah, we were talking about at the start of the year, we were talking about a quarterback golden generation, and actually the bottom of the league is falling out of quarterbacks really quickly.
All right. Who did you take, Maddie? I don't remember. The Commanders and the Patriots. -2.
I took the Commanders.
All right.
I took the Commanders in that one.
Well, let's talk about some Colts heading to the Panthers. This game, I don't know who's going to be watching if you're not a Colts or a Panthers fan. But on the road, the Colts are actually favored by 2. So -2 for the Colts on the road at the Panthers, who have only won one game this year, even though Adam Thielen has had 0 drops on 70 catches.
Adam Thielen has been incredible. He's a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy, at least this year. I'm not going to say he's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Obviously, that would be crazy. But like, he's so solid for that, for Bryce Young, and such a great security blanket for a quarterback starting out. So really important that Adam Thielen keeps on playing that way for the Panthers. That being said, the Colts have Jonathan Taylor back. The Colts have a decent run game. They have an okay wide receiver base. And Gardner Minshew does have the ability to win games. So I'm going to take the Colts in that game. There's not really much to say in terms of that game.
Nope, I'm with you. Give me the Colts because the quarterback play will be better in Indy. Indy's got a better offensive line. They probably got a better receiving core. They got a better running back. And both defenses play okay.
Yeah. The Colts offensive line is a massive positive for them this year after how bad it looked last year. So Colts offensive line is looking good for them.
Yeah, maybe some of that had to do with that they had old, beat up statue quarterbacks back there behind that offensive line last year.
Yeah, just couldn't move. They were just lining up and just racing straight towards the quarterback. And then you can stop the run on the way to the quarterback at that point as well. So, yeah, maybe a bit of both. Just a downward turn as well.
All right. Well, the next game we have the New York Giants traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry, guys. Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 1.5. I always say when your coach gets fired, the team rallies for a game or two. Antonio Pierce was a really good player in his day. He gets to play against the team he won a Super Bowl with. That team's going to be pumped for him. I say give me the Raiders to beat the Giants in this game by more than 1.5.
Yeah, let's win one for the new coach. Let's win one for the new coach. I think that's what gets them over the line in this. And not to mention the Giants. Who are the Giants trotting out a quarterback this week?
They're on their third string, aren't they?
Yeah. Who's getting annihilated behind that Giants offensive line this week? Oh, Daniel Jones might be there.
Okay.
So Daniel Jones might be starting. I think Daniel Jones is starting. Yeah. So Daniel Jones is starting. Okay, that's a big deal for them. For the Raiders, Aiden O'Connell is starting.
Yeah.
For the Raiders, which I think is a big move for them. I don't see the point in playing any more of Jimmy G at all this season now because you're nowhere. The Raiders are nowhere this year. So there's no point in starting Jimmy G. There's no point in starting Jimmy G on a team unless you have the opportunity to make the playoffs. There's no reason to see what you've got in Aiden O'Connell. See if he can unleash some yards to Devontae Adams and make Devontae Adams excited to play for the Raiders next year. Because if he's not, then Devontae Adams can be gone. Win one for your coach. Max Crosby is going to be living all over Daniel Jones by himself. Max Crosby is going to win this game for the Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
And I don't think they're going to let Devontae go anywhere because I think firing the coaches was part of them telling Devontae they love him.
Yeah, definitely. Devontae said he'd run for a wall for Antonio Pierce.
Yeah. Let's talk about the game of the week. To me, that would be the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 3 at home, which means on a neutral site, they're saying it's a pick'em game. What do you think? Since that's your team, Maddie, I'll let you go first.
What do I think of that game? So I think it is actually a sneaky good matchup for the Dallas Cowboys in this game. And I'll just lay out a few reasons why. The Eagles' defensive line is meant to be one of the best in the NFL, and Jalen Carter is playing lights out ball. But in terms of actual pass rushing, they are not great. Run stopping, they're amazing. Like, they're an incredible run stopping thing just because they're absolutely massive in the middle of the park. But actually, pass rush, they're not great. Whereas the Cowboys grade top 10 in the PFF rankings for offensive line play. And as Dak, if he's got a clean pocket and he's got guys to actually, he's got guys to throw to. Brandon Cooks is starting to play. When now that Mike McCarthy's unleashed the reins a little bit, Brandon Cooks is looking good. CeeDee Lamb is looking good, and Sam Howell didn't get sacked. The Eagles didn't sack Sam Howell once, and Sam Howell is one of the most sackable quarterbacks in the NFL. And I say sackable, not sacked, because Sam Howell holds onto the ball longer than any quarterback I've ever seen. So he's an easily sackable quarterback. And they didn't get to him once, whereas Dak gets that ball out a lot faster. So favorable on that side. You can pass on this Eagles team. So not going to be a lot of running from the Cowboys, but I could see some passing yards. Also, on top of that, we have one of the best pass rushes in the league, who can get all over who can get to the quarterback. However, we can be run on, which the Eagles' rushing game is outstanding as well. So, but I think one of the most interesting stats when it comes to this game is the Cowboys only average 21 points on the road. They average over 30 at home and only 21 points on the road. So going into Philly, I don't feel particularly confident. But in a pickup game, and it's my Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to take them +3 to win the game.
I'm taking the Eagles -3, but I just want the points because I think it's going to be a close game. So I just want the points.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really close game being played, and I'm really excited.
Wait, I'm taking the Cowboys against the Eagles because I just want the points. I said that completely backwards. I just want the points in that game. So give me the Cowboys.
You think the Eagles are going to win, but you think the Eagles are going to win, but you're taking.
I think either team could win. I would lean towards the Eagles, but I think it's going to be such a close game. I just want the points. You know what I mean? On the bet. So give me the Cowboys and the points.
Yeah, it's a
If
funny,
I was
it's
in
a funny
Vegas,
matchup, that game.
I would not bet this game if I was in Vegas. That's why I want the point.
Do you have the under over for it or not?
It is 46.5.
I wouldn't bet that either. I wouldn't touch this game from a bettor's perspective.
So yeah, I just wanted the points. That's why I'm taking the Cowboys. It's that simple for me in that game.
If the Cowboys win this game, they're probably going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. Is just through strength of schedule going forward. The Cowboys, compared to the Eagles' strength of schedule as well. So the because of the fall off of the 49ers, the Detroit Lions got absolutely walked against them. But if we beat the Eagles, we then play Giants, Panthers, Cowboys, and then Seahawks, which could be a slip-up game. And then it's Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions to finish out the year. So it's going to be, but we could be going into the next time we play the Eagles. Sorry, I said that totally wrong. Going into the next time we play the Eagles on the 11th of December, the Dallas Cowboys could be the first seed in the NFC.
All right.
If we win this game.
Let's talk about the Sunday night football game. And that is the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are back, y'all. Joe Burrow's looking like Joe Burrow. I think that calf is feeling better. Give me the Bengals minus 2.5. I don't even care about the points. This could have been a 5-point spread, and I still would have taken the Bengals. So give me the Bengals minus 2.5 at home against the Buffalo Bills.
I think the Buffalo Bills are a pretty fraudulent team. We've spoken about this a lot. And also the Bengals are the Bengals again now that Joe Burrow's calf is healed. The Bengals are the Bengals.
Who the fuck fields a punt at their own 2-yard line? The Chiefs could have had a touchback, and now they're starting from their 9. 4 minutes left in the game, down by 7.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, just let that go. Maybe he thought it was the same rule as the kickoff return now, where you call the fair catch anywhere and it goes to the 25, which is ridiculous.
Don't start me on that stupid fucking rule.
So fucking annoying. Anyway, takes away one of the most exciting parts of the game. The Bengals are the Bengals again. They were a terrible matchup for the Bills anyway, but also the Bills have been playing not great football and have loads of injuries. They're one of those teams that gets injured. And at that point, you have to look inwards, and it's something that we've been saying about the 49ers as well. At that point, when you have that many injuries, that often it's something that you're doing, not something that's just bad luck. Something that keeps on happening over and over again is not bad luck. It is you're doing. So look at how you're doing it. Jamar Chase is a huge factor in this game. The Bengals defense is playing solid. Also, shout out to Damar Hamlin. However, this is going to be a weird game for him, surely, on his return to what happened last year.
Yeah, that's wild. So the over-under on that game, Maddie, is 50.5.
It's a pretty crazy over-under on that game. Do you know the over-under on the Chiefs-Miami game was 51 as well? Which I would have hammered the under on that one. That I was like, international game, they're never as high scoring. Hammer the under. The Chiefs-Bengals, however, not the Chiefs-Bengals, the Bills-Bengals, however, I don't see the Bills scoring that many points on this Bengals offense. However, I do see the Bengals scoring a lot of points on the Bills offense. So it could be close, but give me the under on that one. But going to be a very exciting game.
And I was watching the other game. You took the Bengals also minus the 2.5?
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure I was following.
I'm hammering that bet. I might bet that game myself, the Bengals 2.5.
There you go. All right. So tomorrow's Monday Night Football. We got the fucking, I don't even know why this is a Monday Night Football game. We have the Chargers at the Jets. The Chargers are favored by 3.5 on the road. How the fuck the Chargers are favored in any game, I'm not even quite sure. The Jets defense is for real. Their running game is for real. You can run on the Chargers. I know they're saying it's because of Zach Wilson. I'm sure that's why that point spread is there. I don't have any faith in Justin Herbert and his offensive coordinator, who Maddie seems to really like, or their head coach. So give me the Jets minus the 3.5 for the upset in this game.
The Jets are 4-3, by the way. Like can we just appreciate that the Jets are 4-3? So this team that is only 2.5 points dog against the Bengals, who've looked amazing, got beat by the Jets opening night when the Jets lost their starting QB in the first quarter of the game. So why are we such fans of the Buffalo Bills and not the Jets? Zach Wilson was a bit of a joke when he first came in because he didn't look great, didn't look particularly good when he first came in. But since then, he's looked perfectly serviceable as a QB in the NFL, and he's just doing the job that's been asked of him, which is not very Zach Wilson, who his biggest problem last year was his inability to have any maturity whatsoever. So the Miami Dolphins have got the ball with 2.5 minutes left in the game. Let's see what happens there. But the Jets defense is for real, like super defense. Breece Hall has the ability to just make any run into a touchdown from wherever on the field, as long as he doesn't gas out around the halfway line. I saw you picked up Dalvin Cook in fantasy this week. Any reason for that?
Because I had fucking shit at depth, and you never know. Like if Breece Hall gets injured at any point through the rest of this fantasy season, then you just plug and play Dalvin Cook and see what happens. You know, I didn't hate. I don't remember who I had, but whoever I dumped. Oh, I died up fucking the Falcons defense sitting on my bench.
Was it defense? Yeah.
Yeah. So I just dumped the Falcons defense, and I was going through the transactions, and I think it was Duffy. I seen Duffy dumped Cook, so I went to see if he was still there, and I was like, well, I'd rather have him than the Atlanta defense.
Yeah, I think it's fair enough. Our league's getting to the point now where there are no good players left in free agency.
No, you just take somebody, and if there's an injury, they're good. You know, like that.
Yeah. There's you just sit and you just go, there's just nothing. Like I was just scrolling through, I was like, I really need to get I need some running back depth, and I just don't have any. Because my running backs keep on getting injured, but we're just at that point. But yeah, Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall has to be one of the better 1-2 punches in the league. I think Kellen Moore is a good offensive coordinator. I think he has a really good offensive mind. Still has a bit to learn in terms of like actually managing games. I think Justin Herbert obviously has all of the talent ahead of him. I want to see him put together. I think Brandon Staley is the problem. Brandon Staley is the overwhelming problem there. Austin Eckler looked really good last week. Back to his Austin Eckler best. So that's the last time they played, which is good. But however, this Jets defense is so for real, and the running game is just going to control the game for them because the Chargers can't stop the run at all and haven't been able to for 2 or 3 years now. So give me the Jets in this game as well.
All right. Well, there you have it. We made it through all of our picks. It's going to be a wild weekend for football for me because I'm sure I'm going to have an anxiety attack during that Vikings game.
Yeah, which you shouldn't, because it doesn't matter. Nothing for the rest of the Vikings season or for the next 3-4 weeks maybe matters at all. Doesn't matter. Because the more games you lose,
we're gonna win enough games.
Draft pick.
We're gonna win enough games to have a shit draft pick and miss the playoffs. Yeah, it's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. That's a very Vikings way of doing everything.
Yeah, but it does sound good the way Kevin O'Connell was talking, the way Kwesi was talking, the way Kirk was talking. I think Kirk's back next year. So that makes me feel really good about that.
Yeah, I don't think the draft pick is necessarily the end of the world for you. I think if you lose, the draft pick becomes a bonus.
This is the draft where they still need to pick up a quarterback to sit behind Kirk for 2 years.
Yeah, they've been trying to do it for when did they pick up Kellen Moore? Year before last.
Yeah, but that was Mike Zimmer did not want him. Rick Spielman wanted him, and those two weren't even talking to each other at that point. So I think that was Rick Spielman giving Zimmer a fuck you. It just that was not a good situation. The more you find out about what was going on behind the scenes, the last couple of years, that was not a good situation. Would your eyes get all big for it?
The Dolphins are just running it down the Chiefs' throat right now.
Oh, I'm at commercial in that game somehow.
When did you finish? Maybe they took a timeout after this?
I don't know. I'm seeing no, you're ahead of me. I'm seeing a Pepsi commercial after the punt. Right, okay. I'm pretty sure it was after the Chiefs punt.
All right, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Dolphins are at the 30. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. The game just went back to it now, and the Dolphins are at midfield for me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. There's about to be a big Mostert run right up the middle.
That's good because I have him in one of my paid fantasy leagues, and I was looking like shit because I had 4 people in this game playing.
But you don't care about the paid fantasy league, Jay. The only fantasy league that matters.
It's odd. The free one is the one that pisses me off the most. It's so odd.
And if you want part of the Yankee and the Brit Fantasy League next year, the first place to start is by hitting the subscribe button. You need to be a subscriber to be in our fantasy league. Now, that's the rule.
Right. So, and then before the league, either hit us up in the comments or go over to our Facebook page and let us know you want in there. Because if we have enough people, I will definitely open a second league.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. And we have 550 subscribers now, guys. So please keep on hitting that subscribe button. All the likes if you're watching on Instagram still. Thank you very much. Go follow us on Instagram if you're not already.
4 subscribers. We picked up one during the show.
Thank you very much to that one person in the show. And thank you very much to the 4 people since the last time I checked.
All right, guys, there you have it. Those are Maddie and I's picks. We still have to figure out what we're going to do, but we're going to have some special content for exclusive members now that we're at that point on YouTube. And always remember, super chats and super stickers are always appreciated.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for all of your support. We really, really appreciate it.
2.5 years, but it's growing, Maddie. It's growing.
It feels like it's picking up pace very quickly now, weirdly.
Yeah, it's a fun time to be part of it.
Yeah, not a single. Also, we haven't paid for a single ad or anything like that, which is pretty crazy to be at this point without having to pay any money for it. So
it's funny though, because I've been asked about Instagram. Did you pay for followers? I'm like, no. And if I was,
I asked you,
right? But you're not the only one. And I'm like, if I was going to pay for followers, it would not be on fucking Instagram. It would be on YouTube, but I'm not paying for followers because all you do is fuck up your algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ends up hurting you in the long run if you pay for subscribers and views and all of that thing.
Yeah. It's okay paying for ads, but paying for anything else on top of that is just no good.
Yeah, if you boost your shit or you pay for an ad, that's different. But when you're like going online and buying subscribers and views, that ends up, once you stop paying, that ends up hurting your channel because all the views die.
Yeah. And also, we haven't paid for any ads, which is just crazy that we're at this point. So,
and if you haven't checked out my documentary, The DeCalicante Family, The Real Sopranos, go check it out because it just hit 42,000 views. People seem to be liking it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week to go over all this craziness. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.